The new McFarlane Collector Edition Deathstroke might just be one of the best DC Multiverse figures I've looked at in a while. Stick around to find out why. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. Starting with the packaging, and Slade comes in that now standard McFarlane Collector Edition box. It's got all those silver accents. And seriously, can you believe that we're already up to 46 of these? Of course, the number that I'm the most excited for is that 17 and up. Names and logos for Deathstroke, the Terminator on the sides. And then on the back we got some really great classic style Deathstroke artwork. It's been taken from the cover of Deathstroke, the Terminator #1, which was written by Marv Wolfman and illustrated by Steve Irwin. Nope, not that one. I wonder if he ever illustrated Killer Croc. Crocky, he is a beaut. Joking aside, only the interior artwork was by Steve Irwin. The cover was by Mike Zeck. If you want to shop around for your assassin in-store, here's the UPC. For packaging, Deathstroke gets 4 points. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor and give it a like. Moving on to presentation, and let's crack this killer out of the box. Slade stands at 7 inches, or 18 centimeters, and is mostly a new sculpt. Near as I can tell, the only direct reuse is Green Lantern's upper legs, the giveaways being the knitted textures, and this loopy seam running down the middle. With that in mind, I kinda thought the ab section was reused, but the musculature is actually much less defined on Green Lantern. Looking at the artwork, and Slade is usually depicted as having a more scale mail bodysuit, similar to Captain America. This more knitted look is a bit of a departure, though overall it does still look good. My favorite part are the small touches. Things like the metallic collar, actually painting the belt buckle, or the trim around the gloves. If you look closely, you can see they actually did go in to stamp the eye, and it looks great. One of the things I appreciate the most is that they actually shaded the orange. It's such a loud and blurry color. Is he an assassin or a crossing guard? I do wish that some of that paint detail extended to his bandolier. Compared to the rest of the figure, it just looks kind of flat. Still, that pop of gray does stand out. For those unfamiliar, Deathstroke goes all the way back to 1980, and yes, we do have to address the red and black elephant in the room. Master assassins with a two-toned color scheme. One is named Deathstroke, one's named Deadpool. Costume that covers his entire body, including his face. Kinda, sorta, Spider-Man-like eyes. Real name Slade Wilson. Real name Wade Wilson. Deadpool co-creator Rob Liefeld has maintained that those similarities are merely coincidental, and that Deadpool was meant to evoke Spider-Man.
It's the Fargate! F! It's different from that movie which I've never seen.
Since then, Marvel seems to have embraced the similarities, making Deadpool a parody of his more serious spiritual sibling. I don't know, I think Rob Liefeld might be hiding something. Probably just feet. For presentation, I'm giving Deathstroke 5 points. Moving on to Poseability, and I'm actually pretty impressed. As usual, Deathstroke's neck is on a dumbbell joint. He can look up this high, which is more than enough for me. Here he is looking straight. Down isn't anything to write home about, but not too bad. Also, the irony is not lost on me that I keep talking about how he's looking up and down, but I'm showing you the blind side. Really good amount of tilt, and all the way around. Moving on down, Slade can raise his arms 90 degrees, and gets complete rotation at the shoulders, along with that wibbly-wobbly multi-directional rotator cuff. Working our way down the arm, and he's got bicep swivel, along with double-jointed elbows with a nice deep DC Multiverse bend, and wrist balls that can swivel and hinge either up and down, or side to side. Move into the middle, and Deathstroke has a diaphragm joint and a ball-jointed waist. I know I usually say dumbbell here, but I've been thinking about it, and I feel like ball joint would be the more correct term. Regardless of what you call it, though, he can arch back this far, which is more than enough for me. For contrast, Dan here standing straight, and you know what? To his credit, he actually does have a little bit better hunch forward than usual. He's also got a nice natural side-to-side tilt, along with rotation at the diaphragm, and also the waist. Below the bright orange pouch belt, and Slade has the standard McFarlane hips. He can kick in the ballpark of 90 degrees, which is pretty good. This far backwards, which is really impressive, and a near perfect split. The only thing holding him back really being this holster. No thigh cut, of course, but we do have twist in the hip. Here's how far inward that can go, and here's how far outward. Working our way down, Deathstroke has double jointed knees with a decent enough bend, toe articulation, and ankle balls that can swivel, hinge, and like Deadpool taking over the pop culture conversation despite the fact that Deathstroke was out for over a decade first. Pivot. Thanks to a better than usual hunch forward for Poseability, I'm giving this Deathstroke 5 points. Moving on to Playability, and Deathstroke comes with a trading card.
How'd that get in there?
As I was saying, Deathstroke comes with a trading card and a figure stand. You can read more about Slade Wilson here. The stand has that new old DC logo stamped in silver, and in addition to the fist and open hand we've seen throughout the video, Mr. Wilson also has a pair of accessory holding hands. That's because this Master Assassin comes with an arsenal. First up, we've got this rifle. It's not a complete match to the one in the artwork, but it's more than close enough for me. It is worth noting that it's reuse. Same thing with these two. In fact, I previously looked at these in the Berserker video. That said, you could also get them from the munitions packs. But honestly, when we're talking about something like firearms, I don't really think that reuse is a problem. A little bit of extra paint love would have been nice, but as far as I'm concerned, it's fine. After years of Warner Brothers not letting toy companies include the weapons, I'm just happy to have them. That said, and while I could be wrong, I do think the sidearm might actually be new. Leastways, I couldn't match it to the munitions packs. One nice thing is that they actually did paint the lens on the scope, and it fits in the holster like so. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing that would have made this better would have been an unmasked Slade Wilson head. Now, to be fair, the Page Puncher's version of Rebirth does have one, but if I'm going to spend a bunch of money on an extra head, I'd rather just invest in a really cool third-party one. Of course, Playability is more than heads, hands, or handguns. It's also about how well your figure plays with others. Starting with my other Deathstrokes, and here's Rebirth and Arkham Origins. I gotta say, McFarlane's done pretty well by this guy. For the most obvious comparison, though, For the most obvious comparison, and here's fellow assassin Deadshot. I never did get around to reviewing this guy, but for some other classic-style Batman family villains, and here's Silver Age Joker, the Superpowers-inspired Platinum Penguin, Nightfall Catwoman, the DC classic Riddler, Silver Age Two-Face, the oranges and blues go nicely together, and lastly, get out of here! And lastly, Asbats. Asbats brings us to Batman himself. Here we have blue and gray and black and gray versions of Nightfall. Just for giggles though, and here's No Man's Land. I really like how the dark blues go together. Based on the era though, I'm really loving the gold label Year 2. Though it's important to remember that Batman isn't exactly Deathstroke's arch nemesis. That would be Robin. How does he keep slipping in here? That would be Robin and the Teen Titans. Since McFarlane hasn't given us a new Teen Titans Robin, this one is a statue by Kota Bakia. It's based off the Superpowers collection. What we do have from New Teen Titans, however, is Disco Nightwing. Of course, we've also got Nightfall Nightwing, along with the Better Than Batman and Modern Titans Wave versions. And while I don't have a lot of hope for most of the New Teen Titans, at least Beast Boy's pretty classic looking. That said, at the very least, we do have modern versions of Raven, Starfire with a New Teen Titans repaint of Blackfire on the way, and the Rebirth version of Cyborg. Of course, Deathstroke's an equal opportunity Robin hater, so here's the Nightfall version of Tim Drake. That said, for a couple of bandolier buddies, here's Deathstroke with Chewbacca and Worf. For a relative scale comparison, here's Oh, come on! For a relative scale comparison, here's Deathstroke with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here he is with Really? Hey, unlike Stealth Iron Man, at least my legs will grow back. As much as I would have loved an alternate Slade head, I'm still very happy with everything this guy comes with. If I did have one criticism, I wish he was a little bit taller. Even so, and for Playability, I'm still giving this guy 5 points. My culture isn't your costume! As is often the case with mercenaries, there's really nothing left to discuss but the price. In terms of cost versus value, I've been pretty critical of McFarlane Toys lately, but I really feel like I got my money's worth here. I still don't love the fact that collector editions are up to $35, mind you, but if you're gonna bite the bullet on a DC multiverse, Deathstroke is a bullseye. For price, I'm giving Deathstroke 4 points, averaging out to a grand total of 4.6 out of 5. Agree? Disagree? Sound off in the comments below. While you're down there, let me know who you prefer between Deathstroke and Deadpool. For more videos, check out one of these, and until next time, play nice and have fun. Moving on to presentation, and let's terminate this Terminator's box. That came out wrong. In fact, I previously looked at these exact guns in the John Wick.